Our hunt for the elusive beast continues. But will we finally see the creature for ourselves?
You tell me that's not Champ? See the humps on the back?
Or will we soon find out that the legend of the Lake Champlain watery whatsit is just that, a legend?
I think we're gonna need a bigger boat.
We're on a mission to uncover the real story behind this country's weirder waterlogged tales.
We're here in Vermont chasing rumors behind Lake Champlain's resident water monster, Champ.
We're on the Spirit of Ethan Allen speaking with boat owner Mike Shea and Captain Paul Marshall about the largest group sighting of Champ in history.
In 1984 we saw Champ. Myself and another deckhand were down below preparing we were doing a reenactment of a 50th wedding anniversary, and we were making preparations for the party. And we looked out the window, or I looked out the window, saw it, and stared at it for just a few minutes, and then we decided to go upstairs and get a better view. And there were 70 people on the second deck of the boat, and we noticed as we got to the top of the stairs that all those people were looking over the side of the boat also.
Party guests raced to the rails to watch a strange humped creature swimming beside the boat. And since many of the party guests are from out of state, they have never even heard of the Lake Champlain monster.
These people had no idea. They'd never heard of Champ, and there was a lot of explaining going on exactly what Champ was.
What did it look like?
Well, what I always will never forget is the color. I always reminded when I was a kid of hunting frogs, the underbelly of a frog, the green and brown of a frog. About 20, 25 feet long, 3 or 4 humps, just going right through the water, smooth as can be.
Despite 70 people being on board the Spirit of Ethan Allen, only one picture of the beast is captured that day. And like so many other Champ photos, the image is inconclusive.
But you being from around here, I mean, that must have been like the experience of a lifetime, actually getting to see this thing firsthand, right?
It was, and I've relived it many times over in my mind. I've looked at waves, I looked at other things on the lake here, just like Paul here. I've never seen anything that duplicated what I saw, so I know it was something.
Still looking, huh?
Still looking.
Everybody's looking.
Everybody's looking.
So I guess the odds of us seeing it before we get back to the dock are pretty slim, huh?
Well, we got about 10 more minutes.
So it ain't 22 years, but it's as good as anything, right?
We're going to keep our eyes open.
We'll keep them open and always looking.
It sure is windy out there.
Yeah, it is.
We're thinking if we want to catch a glimpse of the creature for ourselves, we're going to have to mount our own expedition. We depart the Spirit of Ethan Allen in one final attempt to locate the watery whatsit.
Hello? Information? Yes, we're looking for a boat.
A big boat.
A big boat. How big? Big enough to haul a large prehistoric lake monster into. Hello?
Well, that wouldn't be the first time somebody hung up on you.
After a few more calls, we tracked down Dick Furbush, captain of the University of Vermont's research vessel, the Melosara.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us aboard.
Welcome to the Melosara.
He thinks he can help us track down our elusive prey.
So where are we going to head today?
Well, today I thought we'd go down into the mouth of Shelburne Bay.
Is that a hot spot for Champ sightings?
It's one of the better places. If I had to go look for, I guess I'd go there because there's some deep water.
So, Captain, how long have you been plying the waters of Lake Champlain here?
Well, I've actually plied these waters for 40 years now.
And in that time, how many times have you seen Champ?
I never been fortunate enough to see Champ my time on the lake.
Well, today is your lucky day because we're determined to see him today.
Well,
And we'll be on this water until we find him.
And we'll point him out to you when we see him, okay?
Thank you very much.
But Dick throws us one word of caution. If we do spot him and catch him, we gotta throw him back. In the early 1980s, the state of Vermont and the New York State Assembly passed resolutions protecting Champ from harm or capture. But there's always the accidental capture.
Ever gotten your anchor chain hooked up in something that just wouldn't give...
Well, that's an interesting question. I have actually had that happen once or twice. And
Really? Yeah. That's how they caught Megamouth, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
We have to hold out hope, don't we?
Once we arrive in Shelburne Bay, Dick doesn't pull out the harpoons we had hoped for.
Instead, he pulls out the device that will help us determine if Lake Champlain's environment can support a creature like Champ, especially in the harsh New England winters.
This is a device called a CTD, and what it does is it measures temperature, conductivity, and light, how clear the water is, the turbidity, the amount of plankton in the water, all these variables.
What is this, Skirman? Nova? Once the variables are plugged into the computer, Dick brings us over to explain how these readings may support the existence of Champ.
Now, how cold does it get in the winter?
Actually, the water will drop right down to 0, where it freezes in the winter in this region here.
At the surface, but what about down deep?
Well, down deep, it actually is inversely stratified due to the strange property of water, where it's most dense at 4 degrees or 39 degrees Fahrenheit, and so that water will sink.
So Champ could feasibly winter down there and have a ready food source right there at his disposal. He wouldn't ever have to.
tips.
He would never have to leave the warm pockets of water to feed, right?
I suppose that's conceivable, yeah.
So as long as he didn't have to come up for air. But that's the rub right there. Here, Champy, Champy, Champy.
Nothing.
Well, despite searching all day and coming up empty-handed, thanks to Dick's help, I now believe the possibility of a water monster living in Lake Champlain is feasible.
I agree. I mean, come on. Scientists estimate we share the planet with up to 30 million species. And as of today, we've only named less than 2 million forms of life. And of those 2 million, we only have detailed knowledge of about 1/10 of them.
What'd you say?
Water monster. Well, it seems once again Champ has lived up to its reputation as being a mysterious and elusive creature.
Yes, even with all of today's high-tech gadgetry, it's still hard to prove whether this creature actually exists or not.
But I think we have learned that the environment here on Lake Champlain is conducive to such a beast actually surviving here.
Who knows? Maybe there is a water monster deep in the lake.
Well, I know we're not going to quit looking.